Let me show you guys a couple things going on in my garden today. I made the update of my peas that I was so proud of. They're actually right here in front of me, but what I'm looking at here is my carrots. I've had an interesting history with trying to grow carrots. I remember as a kid, we tried to grow them in northeast Missouri in a, relatively heavy clay soil. And would you believe it, they didn't, never seemed to work very well. So I started trying to grow some down here. And, I don't know that our environment's necessarily that great for them, but they seem to do just fine so far. Anyway, I've had mixed results, and what I had was over there, just past that purple lettuce that's gone to seed, but just to the right of where my onions were, actually where those young potatoes are now. That's where my old carrot patch was, and I seeded those carrots last, I want to say November, and let them grow through the winter. They didn't grow real fast or real heavy, and I tried seeding them in straight rows, and in the end, I think I pulled maybe a dozen carrots. And some pretty good sized carrots. Only one that was really, really impressive, really good size. You can see I got my helper here with me today. That's my 7-month-old daughter. She's doing me a lot of good sitting here watching me. But this is my carrot patch. Now, let me stand up so you can see what's going on. This is literally a carrot patch, not a carrot top like my daughter. Very, very dense. I seeded this open seeded. I just literally scattered the seed. And actually subsequently forgot and went back through 2 days later and planted 2 rows of beets over top the exact same area. Now the beets, you can see, here's one coming up in the middle, and I've actually had to thin the carrots out a little bit around them. But what I really wanted to show you guys today was these carrots. I got extremely good germination on them just by simply overseeding them. I didn't bury them. I just seeded them on the surface and watered them in. And I got really, really good germination. But surprisingly, despite how thick they're planted, I mean, here's 2 side by side. These things are effectively on 0-inch center. They're right on top of each other. But they're all still developing. So I came out here to thin them. And here's this pile of carrots that I've got so far. Now, I understand they're very small. But what makes me happy is the quality of the actual root. Okay, it's long, straight, well developed. This carrot is, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks old, something like that. And I've read, they develop the majority of their root within the first roughly 2 weeks of their life. And from then on, they just swell. So they go straight down and then they swell. So I came out here to pull these to thin them, and I started coming across all these ones that, heck, that's eating size, sure enough. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest all these, actually, and pull them in the house. I'm not going to harvest the whole patch here, but, I thought, well, there's no sense in pulling them out to thin them and just throwing them on the ground. That's silly. So I just want to show you guys, there's a couple different theories, square foot gardening and such that, is supposed to really help you benefit from the maximum space of your garden. But, it seems that in some instances, on something like a carrot where it doesn't have a whole lot of spread to it to begin with, it just kind of makes sense to me to, heck, just open seed them. Just pick a spot in your garden and and open seed them. You might say, okay, well, you're wasting a little bit of seed, but in the grand scheme of things, this is by far the best germination rate that I've gotten out of any carrot planting I've ever done. And these are the healthiest, best looking carrots. Now, you could attribute that to a lot of things, the soil condition and everything else, but, it might just be something to try, because I actually, broadcast seeded these basically because I accidentally ordered way too much carrot seed. And so I had this packet of a quarter ounce of carrot seed or whatever, thousands and thousands of carrot seeds, which this is not at all planted. I never even got into the big package I ordered, but I had all that carrot seeds, so I said, well, heck, I'll just sprinkle it out and see what happens, and I got phenomenal results. So anyway, I just want to show this off to you guys and show you. We'll see, you can look in here at how thick these are planting, and, just pull up one little guy here. Now this one, maybe not a good example. It's a little puny thing. I'm not going to harvest. I'm not going to bring that in the house. My wife will make fun of me. But I'll pull up another one here right beside it. It was growing just as tight a spacing, and you can see there is a difference. That one's even a little bit bigger. But it was just, it was just shocking to me looking through the carrot patch here. I've come out and I've thinned this thing. I come out every couple of days whenever I get a chance and do some more thinning on it. But mostly now I'm just thinning for the sake of trying to let let some of them fill out to be good full-size carrots, just so I can have some bragging rights on having big carrots. But anyway, I just, wanted to share this with y'all. You might give it a shot. You know, if you're, if you just want to try something different. You don't always have to plant in straight rows. You don't always have to plant in a square foot pattern. You know, all that stuff that you read in gardening books, for the most part, it's guidelines. It's proven results, but that doesn't mean that it's the only thing that'll work. So, if you got an open patch in your garden and you want to try with it a little bit, sprinkle out some carrot seed and see what happens.